Hi, and welcome to your first day of your last day of orientation. Today we're going to talk about working with Alzheimer's and dementia. Three things that we need to go over are what dementia and Alzheimer's are, who founded it and who discovered it, and when and how. And then we're going to go over some advice that I received to give out to everyone from a spouse of someone who had Alzheimer's. And for a bonus, we're going to talk about the story of an Alzheimer's patient. So what is dementia and Alzheimer's? Dementia is the problems with the brain when it comes to memory, daily living, and communication abilities. Alzheimer's is when it just affects memory, communication, and language and thought. Dementia is mostly in the frontal lobe and the temporal lobe. Alzheimer's is in your parietal and your temporal lobe. The two diseases are not the same, but they are related within each other. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. So who discovered dementia and Alzheimer's? And that would be Dr. Alois Alzheimer. He made the discovery in 1906 when he cut open a female patient and did an autopsy of her brain, which showed significant shrinkage in the temporal and parietal lobes. Some advice from a spouse would be to talk to your doctor when you first start seeing the symptoms. Make memories when you can, because you're going to want to smile in every single picture that you take, because you might not be able to after. See specialists, and definitely she recommends taking the medicines, because the meds really did work. And just remember that everything that they say to you, it's the disease. It's not truly them. And now I'm going to talk about the story of Wally. He was one of my residents at Amelia Place, and I got permission from his wife to talk about him and what he went through. So Wally was in the Air Force, and he was a dance instructor for 40 years. She first started to notice his symptoms when Wally was in charge of his sister's real estate and couldn't perform normal tasks like he could. Also, when he was teaching dance and he couldn't remember the steps that he's taught over 1,000 times. And after they saw a specialist, they realized that they didn't have much time left. So they ended up taking a trip to Florida, and they noticed even just as the trip down there, his symptoms got worse and it progressed quite fast. They took Florida as their last vacation, and they ended up moving to Council Bluffs, where they moved into a house, and they noticed Wally got even worse. So they decided to take him to a special facility where I worked and get him the treatment that he needed. And Wally got even worse from there on. A week before Wally moved in, he was somewhat normal still. He was happy, he was kind, he was still kind of himself, and he still recognized his wife. 2 to 3 weeks after they moved in, Wally got aggressive and mean, and he could barely recognize his wife, which was absolutely heartbreaking for her, because even she couldn't get him to calm down or smile. Also, throughout the process, Wally lost a lot of weight, because he couldn't remember that he needed to eat, and that it was an important function of daily living. Wally also ended up with several other health issues, which made it progress even faster. So it wasn't an easy disease or trip for him to go through. Some advice that his wife had for if you have a family member who has dementia or Alzheimer's for coping is to keep faith. She used faith a lot to get her through it. Also, do fun things whenever possible, going for walks, car rides, eating as much popcorn as you'd like, because that was Wally's favorite snack. make sure to also love them. Just because they're not who they really are, they still need love to get through it. So as a recap, we went over what the two diseases are and how they can affect you, who discovered it, advice from a spouse, and the bonus, Wally Story. Thank you.